So this morning with Duchess, we're going to be working on name recognition as well as just some leash pressure on a more normal walk. Duchess. Yes, good girl. Whenever possible, we'll be trying to focus on using her name to get her attention when the leash is nice and loose. And then whenever necessary, we'll use the leash as a boundary and have pressure that way or for guidance. And be careful of anybody still leaving for work in their cars. You can go back this way. There we go. So just using the natural pressure of continuing to walk away to help motivate her to continue moving on because the other car was backing up. For this exercise with her, I'll try to keep at a good consistent pace because she is definitely a much faster walker. Might need to use some leash pressure and turns to help her to refocus on us if she starts going too fast and starts pulling on the lead. I'll be giving her breaks and allowing her to smell things for as long as she'd like though. So that way, here we go. Good girl, yes. So that way we're not overutilizing leash pressure for practice. Some guidance there. So she's interested in the person there. Good girl. I was about to call her name, but she came back on her own. Good job. I'm going to try my best to keep the leash as loose as possible. Very interested in the person there. Duchess. Yes. Very good. Good girl. Good sit. Thank you. Good. Very good. So she's checking in. She's not rushing off towards them. Gonna use the leash as the boundary there. There you go. Good. Gonna go ahead and let her smell. Usually do these exercises after their potty break walk in the morning, so that way they're less likely to go in other people's yards. We'll always try to, of course, keep them out of the yards that have the signs. Good girl, very good. And try to keep them towards the median. Good girl, she's doing really good. I just rewarded her for just checking in on her own for the third time there. Okay, so something's got her attention. It's picking up speed, so I'm getting ready to change direction or tug back on the lead if she starts to hit the end of it. I think in this case, though, since we're going at a consistent speed and there's no pressure yet, we'll use her name. Duchess. Yes, good girl. Very good. We're going to try to alternate between leash pressure and her name. Just has a little bit more impact if we're not doing it too frequently. Got some kids going to school here, so that could be a good opportunity. I think they're gonna be all loaded up by then. So I'm going to use leash pressure this time. Turn around and go the other way as soon as she's done smelling. Yeah, good. So she started going too fast to the right there, and I just kept going straight. She responded really nicely just to the natural pressure of hitting the end of the lead. Now we're gonna ask her to wait. Wait. Yes, good girl. And a little bit distracted after the command. That's okay. She's able to refocus pretty well. And she didn't run out into the street, so that's a plus. She's doing really well there, being respectful of the boundary of the leash, paying good attention. She kind of hits it going too far into the driveway and then curves back in. It's the same thing here. Oh, actually, she just used focus that time. We didn't hit the leash pressure, so that was really good. Okay. Used a little bit of leash pressure there to let her know she was going too far in front. Good girl. She definitely walks much faster in general than Sarge, and every dog is going to be different. So with her, especially before going on any kind of social outing like we did yesterday to the Home Depot, it's always recommended to get her out on a longer line and play with her, some chase for a bit, and then do some warm-up drills, get all that extra energy out, or as much of it as you can, and then also warming up her obedience. Good girl. She's just paying attention there, so I just asked her to sit for a treat. Good girl. Hitting the leash pressure. Yes, good. Hitting the leash pressure. Okay, now I'm gonna have her actually follow me for a bit. Oh, she wrapped around the other way. Good girl. Okay, and we'll try again. It's important, especially for a pup like her, for efficiency's sake, to try to exercise both mentally and physically first, and if possible, doing both at the same time in a fun and engaging way to help set her up for success. It's just because you will be able to work with her when she's more excited. You'll just have to do a lot more corrections. You'll just have to be more patient. Whereas if take maybe a few minutes beforehand, like half an hour or so, and warming her up, the actual lesson will be a lot easier, and sometimes easier for them to absorb as well. Some pups, if they're too excited and you're just constantly correcting them, they're not really learning anything. They're just feeling more restricted, and they're not focused enough to figure out, actually get the idea of what's going on. And get the idea of what's going on. Here, she's very aware. Here, right? She's very aware. A little bit too excited. A little bit too excited. Hitting the end of the lead. Too quickly and hitting the end of the lead. There's a car. We want to be careful here. There's a car. So I'm just going to use the leash pressure. Good girl. Good weight. There's nobody in the car. There's nobody in the car. Now we'll go again. They're just warming it up. Now we'll go again. Like practicing in the real world. Like practicing in the real world because you get all those practical applications for sit and wait. The duration is a lot more realistic. the distance is usually a lot more realistic. It's gonna be very few times when you have your dog sit and wait, and then you have to walk
and then
30
you have
feet
to
away
walk
or so,
30 feet
and then
away or
recall
so,
them or come back
and
to
then
them.
recall them or come back to them.
Yes, good girl.
Yes, good girl.
So it's been a while since we used her name.
So it's been a while since we used her name. So we're going to try to
We want that
have a treat ready. We want that instant
for
gratification for
keep the leash nice and loose.
keep the leash nice and loose.
I want to wait until she's
I
definitely
want to
not
wait
paying
until
attention
she's
because her
definitely
nose
not
is in
paying
the
attention
ground.
because her nose is in the ground.
Got a little excited there and hit the end of
Got
the
a
lead,
little
but at
excited
least she
there and hit
stopped,
the
so
end
that
of the
was really
lead,
good.
but at least she stopped, so that was really good.
Duchess. Yes,
Duchess.
very good. Good
Yes,
girl.
very good. Good girl.
She's doing well with these treats.
She's doing well with these treats.
The freeze-dried
It's the
beef
freeze-dried
I wanted
beef
to try
liver.
to find something softer.
I wanted to try to find
well,
something softer as well.
And I find that, especially
And I
with her and
find
her
that,
sensitive stomach,
especially with her and her sensitive stomach,
integrating a little bit of
integrating
the treats at
a
a
little
time,
bit of the
and
treats at
also
a time,
into her food
and also into
really
her
helps.
food
So if she has
really helps.
too many
So if
treats
she has too
and
many
not enough
treats
food,
and not enough food,
stool gets a little bit loose.
stool gets a
Back
little bit
off on
loose.
the treats a little bit.
Back off on the
Just
treats a
give her
little
some
bit.
praise for motivation.
Just give her some praise for
and
motivation.
some playtime.
And some pets and some playtime.
And give her some more regular
and give her
kibble.
some more
And then
regular
she balances
kibble.
back out.
And then she balances back out.
Just playing with that a little bit for her
Just
and
playing
her
with that a
parents.
little bit for her and her parents.
Good girl, good pee-pee.
Good girl, good pee-pee.
Letting her spell.
Letting her spell.
Keeping the leash nice and loose.
Keeping the leash nice and loose.
Very interested in all the acorns.
Very interested in all the acorns.
Just keeping an eye on her to make sure
Just
she doesn't
keeping an eye on her to make sure she doesn't
shouldn't be.
eat anything she shouldn't be.
She's just exploring.
It looks like she's just exploring.
All I'm doing is just giving her more time to get absorbed.
Giving her more time to get absorbed in the environment before I get a treat ready and practice her name.
Duchess.
Duchess.
Yes, good girl.
Yes, good girl. Good job.
All right. Very good.
All right.
And now we'll use some leash pressure.
And now we'll use some leash pressure.
Get her some guidance there.
Get her some guidance
She's
there.
going a little bit fast, but
She's going a little bit fast, but she slowed down at the end of the lead, so that was good.
Same thing here. We're going to use some leash pressure.
Same thing here. We're going to use some leash pressure past the poo that wasn't picked up.
Might not have seen it late at night, too.
Might not have seen it late at night, too.
Oh. Who's that?
Who's that? Who's that?
So she got excited.
So she got excited and started moving, but she did well composing herself and refocusing, so that was good. Good organic practice outside. The drills and everything in the court are really good to help with conditioning, but it's very much so like the difference between practicing free throws in a basketball game and actually being in the game and practicing, trying to hit all of your shots. Just untangling her a little bit there. She seems to be doing really good with this this harness setup. It was a little bit small for her. I think because she's not going to be growing too much more, it should be okay. Would like to try to find a harness with patches that fits her. That way we can start some on and off conditioning for when she goes out in public with her harness on. In the meantime, though, just keep practicing the basics here first. Good girl. We'll go ahead and pause here since a lot of the return trip is going to be very similar work. She did really good though this morning. She's very leash aware too. Good girl.